But now to the beauty therapist who calls herself a doctor with a list of high-profile clients who endorse her expensive anti-ageing procedures. But in an unregulated industry worth $650 million a year in Australia, we've discovered she's making claims that she can't back up, including her qualifications. Linda Kincaid investigates why the beauty industry needs a major makeover.
Why do you claim you've got a PhD on your website and in your brochures?
Yeah, no comment, yeah.
She's calling herself a doctor and working in a paramedical skincare clinic. A reasonable person would assume that she's a medical practitioner.
She's hailed herself Australia's celebrity skin guru, spruiking clientele like Dannii Minogue, Kimberly Davies, Brian McFadden and Ruby Rose.
I'm Alicia.
Owner of the paramedical clinics in Melbourne, Alicia Haywood highlights a PhD qualification. She even signs as Dr. Alicia Haywood.
It's talking about medical intense pulse light, medical microdermabrasion. It's all that sort of emphasis, you know, you can trust us, we're a doctor.
You'd be forgiven for thinking this Melbourne business owner is either a medical doctor or has a doctorate in dermatology.
What's the PhD in?
I did it on the physiological effects of yoga on the mind. But is that okay if we don't put that in?
So your PhD is on yoga?
Yeah, it's on yoga, yeah.
Last year, Haywood appeared on our program in a story about beauty treatments. With plans to open a clinic in Sydney, her PR agency invited us back, offering a producer a complimentary treatment. Coincidentally, we received an inquiry about her PhD claims and sought clarification.
Can you just stop for a minute? Okay.
Aware that this was the angle that was going to be explored.
Our interview promptly shut down when Haywood's qualifications were questioned.
It's called holding yourself out to be a medical practitioner. Even a psychologist, if they have a PhD in psychology, must say Dr. so-and-so, in brackets, psychology. So it's very, very clear to the general public that they are not a medical practitioner.
Dr. Mary Dingley, spokeswoman for the Cosmetic Physicians Society of Australasia, is concerned by Haywood's claims. 4 years ago, the Society made a submission to the Australian Health Minister's Advisory Council about the paramedical skin clinic and its use of the word medical.
Unfortunately, not a lot officially was done by the powers that be at that time.
Do you think it's misleading to sign off Dr. Alicia Haywood on your beauty brochures?
No, but I do explain it to all of my customers. I'm not stating that I'm a medical doctor.
Yet during online searches, I found claims by Alicia Haywood that her clinic is not a beauty salon, rather a cosmetic medical clinic with a team of highly qualified specialist doctors and nurses.
There's probably about 5 of us that work between the 2 clinics.
And have you trained them?
Well, they're handpicked and trained by me, yes.
The PR team offered to provide clarification on all of Alicia Haywood's credentials following the interview. Alicia briefly worked as a sales rep and national trainer for a company selling laser machines. She completed a degree in health science and received a high distinction average. She has a diploma from a beauty college and she wrote a 100,000-word paper on the physiological effects of yoga on stress. But oddly enough, despite asking about her PhD, there was no mention, nor what university awarded the PhD or when. Instead of sending through those details, Haywood sent us legal letters. And that's the curious omission. While all the other study and training is quite comprehensive, Haywood prominently displays her PhD credentials on all her advertising and uses the title Doctor. We've been asking for evidence of a doctorate for almost a week.
If a person purports to be a registered doctor or nurse, for example, they can be prosecuted, they can be fined, and if they persist, they could be jailed.
Alicia Haywood's lawyer has informed us that at least 6 complaints, possibly up to 9, have been made to the Victorian Health Services Commissioner since 2005.
Our client's instructions are that each of the complaints have been successfully resolved. The most serious complaint of blistering was found to be baseless.
Is 9 complaints a lot?
If I received 9 complaints about one clinic, I would be very concerned.
Victorian Health Commissioner Beth Wilson is not allowed to talk about any individual clinic.
I can't make any comment about a particular provider under my law.
So beauty therapists are afforded more protection than the public?
At the moment, I'm not able to warn the public by naming someone unless I've done a full, complete investigation, which can take quite a long time. And then I make recommendations which they don't comply with. Then I have to warn them, and then I can name them in Parliament. But that's a fairly cumbersome process.
She was told that she could have a treatment that would give her flawless skin.
Dermatologist Phil Becker had to treat a woman who attended Alicia Haywood's clinic.
The pricing, the advertising, the web pages are giving people a false impression that they're going to a high standard, highly qualified centre.
Had this client sought treatment from a registered doctor, she would have rights to seek compensation and help.
If I, for instance, start to get a high collection of complications, it will be picked up by the government body and they will deal with it.
Only technicians in Queensland and WA require registration to use a laser or IPL machine. In other states, anyone can use one.
We have had patients who have had their melanomas treated by a beauty therapist, which can then delay the diagnosis by months, if not years, which could ultimately be life-threatening.
While Alicia Haywood may have hundreds of satisfied customers, this online blog reveals those who are deeply dissatisfied. There's now a push for a national regulatory body to give clients recourse when procedures go wrong.
I think at the minimum we need data collection and somewhere people complain when something goes wrong. I think these people need to carry appropriate insurance. The term medical should be illegal to use in anybody who doesn't have a medical qualification. I think anybody who harms an individual needs to be held accountable.
Now, that was Linda Kincaid reporting, and we should note that after unsuccessfully trying to prevent us from running that story, Alicia Haywood's website has been updated and mention of her having a PhD has also been removed.